What is going on? I'm Zedmont, and Warships. But first, we got to get those Boom Pass season rewards. I have not bought this Boom Pass, but it does have some interesting things. I wish they would bring 2 skins. The camo tickets are good and all, but let's be honest, I want all of the things like this one right about here. Anyways, Boom Pass is one thing. Sonar Ops is another. Do make sure you play this if you're a mid to low level player, because some of these rewards, like this unlimited builder, is bonkers good. And the build optimizer is also good for low to mid level players. For me, it's all about this sculptor slot though, because I have been hit by the terrible choices of the dev team. They have put in this right here where if you have more than 10,000 shards, you just don't get rewards. And I think I just clicked the wrong button. So that was not great, but need to work on getting these below 10,000. And the easiest way to do that is the extra sculptor slot. And now, into the Shoppy Shop, do make sure you've got code ZMOT in all your Supercell sources, whether it's Brawl Stars or Clash Royale or Squad Busters, or just Boom Beach. One other note, there is the Supercell store if you've never checked it out. There are some great deals in there, which is in your browser. Nothing Boom Beach related yet, though. Warships, where are we at today? We are into Diamond. Not super duper great into Diamond, but into Diamond. There we go. I knew something looked weird with the screen. This looks far better. Okay, so we are into Diamond, and how I got into Diamond was I won, what's that, 8 out of 10? And by the way, how about those Blue Jays? Oh man, we'll leave the baseball aside because I assume there's a whole bunch of you that are Yankees fans and the series is not even close to over yet. But regardless, how about them Blue Jays? What I did was I had like 70 or 90 keys. I was in rank 19. I couldn't get to 20. And then I looked at the leaderboard and I heard from a bunch of people that going 6 is going to be great once you get Seekers or Heavy Choppas, but it's a lot of collecting. And I just said, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just lean in. And like, if you look up here at the top of the leaderboard, they got everything. They got boom mines, they got shock mines, they got flamethrowers, they got extra mortars, they got shock launchers, and I didn't have any of that stuff. And so I went back and I got the extra mortars, I got the shock launchers, and I just added flamethrowers. I have not used the flamethrowers at all, but I've just added them. And when I was looking at it, I kept losing with laser rangers, and I was like, I just need medkits. And then I saw, you know what? If I go up and get the extra mortars, I can get shock launchers, which helps me, slows me down, pisses me off. And then flamethrowers, I was like, you know what? Let's just get some medkits. Was it the right choice? I couldn't tell you, but saving for that next engine room was just driving me insane. And I was only 2 chests away, but then you have to get the building health, and then you have to save and get something else. And I just said, you know what, let's just YOLO it. And it worked out. So went from 19, got 20 easily. 21 was not as easy, but wanted to point out a couple other mistakes I made with the tech tree. If you're using laser rangers, get this node as building health. That is where I had to switch. I had it as troop damage. You want building health. Then I went and got the troop damage, and you get 100 of each, and you can walk through some bases pretty well. If you're using rocket choppas, of course, though, you're going to want 150% troop damage, because rocket choppas are all about the troop damage. Otherwise, shock launchers and boom and mortars and flamethrowers aren't that vital, but they just make you a little bit better. And my times have been, they had a fizzle, 153, they had a fizzle, 2 minutes 2, 1, 1, 139, and 1. So people are fizzling, which is great. Yesterday I was getting like 225s, 220s, 215s, and today, as people add more defenses, people start to struggle a bit more and times slow down. One other quick note, I had someone comment and say, please tell the developers that we can't keep matching against other engine room levels. Well, if you go 6 early, then you're only going to have like 2 people to match against. So they need, for one reason, they need to match outside of that so you can actually play the game. And on top of that, I could have saved for 6, and maybe that's an advantage some season. Other times, you spend the keys, and I now have shock launchers and mortars. So someone who has 6 isn't necessarily an advantage. Staying 5, being dirty, works for now, but maybe not for later. So I think it's really important that you match outside your engine room level. Otherwise, we'd have someone at the 2 engine room level as global number 1, and that would be an absolute mockery. So, how have I been attacking? Let's see if I can't find myself a 5 engine room base. What are you? Okay, so something like this. Bases like this where I'm sending my heavies out to the right-hand side to distract that machine gun, throw in that cryo bomb, and then throw in more cryo bombs, tiny shocks. And I gotta say, this right here, this building right here, that sniper tower, you can tiny shock that. My problem is, because of the way flares behave, I forget that I can throw tiny shocks and cryo bombs underneath there, and I screw it up, and it pisses me off. So, Supercell, please fix the flares. It's so bonkers that flares behave differently than everything else. And then there's a flare into the middle here somewhere, and a medkit once in a while. I love having medkits. It just makes your laser rangers, like, having control of your destiny definitely helps me feel like I'm doing okay. And that's where, like, just watching your troops' health get lower and lower is so frustrating. And then, see, same thing. Had to back up. We throw a medkit, and then practicing the pull-out maneuver. The pull-out maneuver timing is so vital, and barely getting it down and then getting hit by mortars, but doing okay. And just to show you that shock that I was talking about, if you go on this left-hand side, notice that I get my heavies out front, distract the mortars, and then just clearing and getting out of there and throwing one of those. And you see that? Managed to throw the tiny shock on the shock launcher. And if you zoom over here and you move your screen around a little bit, notice how that shield moves a little bit. So you need to move your screen a little bit, and that can, like, if we're looking from over here, there's no way you can throw that tiny shock. Then you kind of zoom and you can see the point, and that helps me anyways. So hopefully that helps you out. But again, I kept thinking, like, you can't do anything underneath the sky shield, and that's what I hate about this stupid new flare business. And now cryo bomb and getting things in and then flaring away and clearing all the things. Probably would be better to be using rocket choppers right now. But what's the fun in that? So now that I've added flamethrowers, notice that none of those replays had flamethrowers. And by the way, I wanted to throw a shout out to, I'm in the top 100. Where did I get that base from? Base was from a very good player. I can't find their name at the second. Come on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna lean in here. Gotta give the shout outs to the people whose bases I use. It's Mr. Pietrek right there. Used his base, which he has now gone and blown up, which is not usually a good sign, but I've added flamethrowers. Maybe he's adding a new base with flamethrowers. We'll do one hit live, which is a terrible idea because Seekers are out on the seas, and it's only a matter of days until heavy choppas, so I need to get up to 21.50. Not that I'm going to park anytime totally soon, but we'll see how it goes. And we might just not have time for a match, to be honest. We'll see how the matchmaking system works. Maybe we'll leave that for the moment, and we'll leave the video there with no live hits. Unfortunate, but we've got a couple of flamethrowers added in this corner because this corner is the linchpin a lot of the times where your troops will come over into here, and then you're like, oh, damn, I got to go back. Also have a flamethrower up in here so that when they round the corner, maybe I need to move that back one tile just to make sure that things go for that flotsam, and then the flamethrower will hopefully roast them on their way through. So and by the way, I just put these flamethrowers down on top of Mr. Pietrek's base. So if you have any comments about where I should move things, would love to hear them. But that's it for me. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Love the Blue Jays, and happy Thanksgiving coming up this weekend for those of you in Canada. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. Peace.